It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, and it's actually show. Adrian! There he is.
Evening, everyone. Sorry, David.
Haven't you?
No, I forgot a pen. I like writing things down when people talk about things. Hello, everyone. No green screen. I'm not in the studio because the taxi didn't pick me up, did it, Dave?
No, and we will be having words with the chauffeur company regarding this matter.
So, producer apologises, but I'm working from home, like they say. So, yes, good evening.
How are you, young man?
I'm all right. Apart from my injury. So,
injury?
My ankle.
Yeah,
I was in hospital, wasn't I? Well, cut A&E. So,
the other injury.
No, yeah. I think when I found that gold coin and I did a little jump, I ripped my ankle and ended up in A&E.
No, you did your ankle. I thought you meant your other injury. Your Robbie Burns related injury.
I have burnt myself on a haggis, but that's another story.
And that's because you didn't read Ode to a Haggis over it while you were cooking, obviously.
I'm English. I didn't read that. No, I've been limping a lot, and I went to A&E on Sunday, and they X-rayed it. Did I not tell you?
Is this when you fell on the vacuum hose again, Philip Wilson?
No. I had to explain why the tangerine was covered in Vaseline. No, I went to A&E and had an X-ray, and I've torn the ligaments in my ankle, and been told I've got to semi-rest it. No metal detected. The woman said, "Oh my God, that's funny." You see the nurse or whatever at the hospital. She says, "Oh, do you do much exercise?" I said, "No, not really." I said, "I just do a bit of metal detecting." She went, "Oh, that's interesting." Usual story. Have you found anything? And then that's it. And there's like 100 people waiting outside to be seen, and I'm sitting there talking about it. And she said, "So what sort of things did you find?" And I went through it all and showed the pictures. And I think people thought I was like majorly ill because I was in there for like half an hour. But yeah, so I've just torn the ligament, so I won't go.
So the 100 people weren't waiting outside to come in and see you in like a detecting clinic.
Yeah, detecting clinic. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but no. So I'm all right apart from that. You scamp have found treasure.
A scamp?
Yeah, scamp Tinker. You found treasure, didn't you?
Yes. First ever treasure.
Yeah, he is a real treasure hunter now, is David. Yeah.
Well, I found gold, but I don't count it because it was somebody's wedding ring. But
yeah.
So, but yes, first.
Well, it's going to be recorded, isn't it, by the flow and potentially it's treasure.
Yes, that lovely Teresa Gilmore from the Staffordshire Fines Liaison Officer. Shane has kindly communicated with her, and she's said it looks like it's late medieval, and it will be getting. I've got the treasure forms to fill in as soon as I get opportunity, and we'll have a little look at it a bit later, shall we?
Yeah. That reminds me, actually.
I think, Adrian, it was probably my luckiest ever day, metal detecting related ever.
Yeah, tell the viewers you got home.
I'm not 100% sure, but it might have been down to I forgot to take my case with me, my little Garrett box with me, and instead I broke out the coin pod for its first use. I know I love the coin pod. But it's now the lucky coin pod, and I'm going to be using my lucky coin pod from now on because I'm that way inclined. If something feels lucky, I don't want to change it. So thanks, John Nicholson.
What? Yeah, coin pod. Look on eBay. Coin pod. They got the deluxe one now, haven't they?
Yes,
back in stock, which looks very nice.
Just while we're talking about coin pods, let me just remind people again that Adrian and I are only human. As are you. And as only humans, half of the people who won at Christmas still haven't communicated with us to say they won a prize. People who have, please stop moaning because they will get to you. I'm trying to get information over to the relevant people, and I've also got 2 pinpointers and a Mind Lab prize to send from here personally. But I've still got to send somebody's Christmas present. So that tells you what sort of person I am. You'll get it, but please chill out. Get it. We're not charlatans. We just got what?
I'll just show the winners in case they're watching and they haven't received
if you want to check, go to bigdetectingshow.com and you can check on there, can't they?
Yeah, they're all there. So bigdetectingshow.com and you can find out if you won. But we did send an email, but like all these things, they go in spam and the abyss.
Yes. And the amount of people who actually won prizes who don't watch the show, who are bothering us saying, I've still not had my prize. Well, do you watch the show? No, I don't watch the show. Well, let's just get free shit.
We are addressing that. We will be doing live show giveaways for those who watch. So
yes, we will
appreciate those who watch. So
because it's only fair.
Yeah, it is.
So Philip Wills and Tony Kaywood are going to win every other. Mind you, Tony Kaywood still won't win.
Not unless we have a button book or a hat. You won something as well, didn't you, David, this week? Not only did you find treasure, you think you won something.
So I'm sat in work on my break and I'm like, I'm a little bit bored. Oh, there's a lockdown competition thing tonight on. Nothing else to do. I'll have a go on lockdown competitions. Next thing you know, I've won on lockdown competitions. Shall I make the screen big? Because as sexy goes, this is just pure sexy. So I have won an Optimist Spade. Look at this. And I'm sorry for the green screen, but it's got, what are these, brass plates on the thing that are
Foot
actually
plates,
fitted? Yeah. Foot plates.
Foot
Well
pegs, yeah.
solid. Lockdown copper thingy there. Look at this. I've asked for it to be inscribed, and it's got, you can't see it properly, that says ArcMD Mag on there. It's absolutely stunning. The work, I know it's a different spray that's being doctored to create this final product, but wow, that's all I can say on it, Adrian.
On it. Look at the strap on.
Look at the strap on. Look at the strap on. Look at the zip ties. I'm in love with it. I can't wait to get out. I won't be out this weekend because I'm working all weekend. But we're on a group dig next week. Myself, Shane, Steve, Ron, Ben, and Ricardo with Ministry of Detect. About half an hour from my house. I think also Darren Richardson, JCB Digger, and Gary Smith, friend of ours as well. He'll be there. So there'll be quite a few people there. So I'm feeling lucky, Adrian. I'm feeling for the first time this year I'm going to have a good metal detecting year, and I'm planning multiple events.
Well, you've got a good machine now, haven't you? So
good machine, good spade.
Yeah.
Good people who I go out with. You know, I can't speak highly enough of the Shane and the other lads. It's a pleasure to go out with them. Should we just show the find?
Yes, show us your finds, David.
Show me finds. Right, bear with me.
It is lovely. I thought it was 17th century, but it's older than that. Medieval
yes, it is. Bear with me, because
make sure you get the right picture up.
No, I think I'm gonna have to share the screen instead, because they still haven't got that thing where you can actually. Oh yeah, I know what I can do. They still haven't got the option where you can show our picture. It's a sense of having to open photographs to actually view them directly.
Photograph.
So is that it? Is that it? That's not it.
I think we should bring back the finds thing.
Right. Can you see that?
Who's she? Oh, she. Yeah.
That's the fat fella. That's if you want to watch it, I mean, the very, very first, it tells you what sort of dig we were on. We walked through the gate. So Shane's video is new YouTube video. It's up to date. Staffordshire Searcher. Go on there, subscribe. Have a watch of the video. The very, very, very first thing that happened was it just set the tone. We walked through, them Lovers Gates. That's what they're called, aren't they? Walked through the Lovers Gate. And Shane gets a signal within 10 feet of it. So I went to his right and got a signal 12, 15 feet away from him. Shane digs his hole and he comes up, and on the video, oh, look, he's got half a coin. I wondered if the other half's in the hole. He turns to me, he says, Dave, what have you got? I said, half a coin. You joking? Comes over, Adrian, same coin.
Wow.
That just set the tone. It was one of them nondescript green ones that we find. Anyway, that's the rear of the artifact. No hallmarks. It's silver. And what?
Oh, it's disappeared. Oh, you're showing the other side.
Yeah. Is that one on?
No.
Can you see it?
No.
Oh, hold on.
Can you see it? Yeah.
My fault. My fault.
Oh, shouldn't do that. Oh, Paris. Wonder when he comes out of prison.
Are we back?
Probably not far behind Gary Clear.
And that is the front of it. So it is a pendant. But look at the scribing inside of the flowers. Can you see that?
That's really, it's lovely condition, Dave. And that's silver.
Silver. And it's suggested that these recesses would have had some form of precious or semi-precious stone in them.
Did you check the hole? I bet you didn't. For the
No,
stone.
I didn't. I just got
No.
all confused and excited and didn't know what it was. And I presume that I wouldn't have seen them anyway in the soil. But there you go. My first treasure. I like a little book on my first treasure, can't I?
You can write a book on that. That's very nice. And I found a ring a couple of years ago with it looked like a diamond in it, and it wasn't hallmarked. I was so excited about it. That was with the Quest Q60, which we'll talk about Quest shortly. And I was so excited. I took a picture of it, and then I ran over to my mate James. I went, "You won't believe what I just found." It was the end of the day, typical detecting day. Don't find that much, and then just walking back to the car, you always find stuff. And he went, "What you got?" And I pulled it out of my pocket, and it was just the ring. The diamond had fallen out in the field. If it was a diamond, I think it was, because it looked really nice. It looked like an engagement ring. And ever since then to this day, if I find anything that looks like it could have had gems in it or stones, I spend a lot of time in the hole, because
as I will, because it didn't even occur to me.
You get so excited though, don't you? You get so excited when you pull stuff out, and especially my soil is like clay, so it's all like almost like toffee. So you pull out, you find, and I was like, oh, so I probably spent about half an hour looking for that diamond. It got dusk at night, it got dark, and I put my phone torch on hoping for a shine, but it was only like that big. But never mind. But yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what I haven't said? By the way, we're not with a guest tonight. Excuse me.
No. Because they couldn't get a cab to
Unfortunately,
the studio.
they couldn't get a cab to the studio. In fact, they couldn't actually get away from work. So, thankfully, obviously, Brian was able to join us last week after nearly cancelling. But Brian was very grateful for Brian for coming on last week. Tonight's guest couldn't make it, but we've got a plethora of things to discuss, haven't we, my friend?
Yes, about metal detecting.
About metal detecting, yes.
Yeah,
lovely.
Yeah.
And all metal detecting related things. And we've also got Book War. And it's your turn to choose first tonight, young man.
When's Book War starting now?
No, give it a half hour, eh?
If I don't win, I shouldn't say that because everyone's going to say.
Do you know what? We do have a problem here. If, for instance, I win every round, I've got all the books and you might not be able to replicate them.
I think my next one will win. I think I'll win with my next one. It's a book. It's a book that not many people know about, but it's highly available. Sells out quite a bit. It's old, but it's good.
So what we'll have to do before the big reveal is we'll have to discuss.
Not as good as that.
What was that called again? The inside of the metal detector. I've just read technical. I knew it was technical.
That, if you read that, mate, you will absolutely. If you like Haynes manuals, you'll like that.
You lost me at hey.
Haynes manuals.
You lost me.
So we all have metal detectors, and most do, hopefully. But if you really want to know how they work, you should read that book, because it does open your eyes to quite a few things, including marketing of metal detectors, which is very, very interesting. But yes, Big Detecting Show YouTube channel.
Just remembered, yesterday I put a post on the Big Detecting Show Facebook group, and Adrian doesn't know because he's probably not been on there. Basically, at some point in the near future, we wish to migrate to solely the Big Detecting Show channel, so people can differentiate, because there's a lot of confusion regarding the Peaky Finders channel, which is Luke's own business for running rallies and selling machines and such like. So we'd like people to obviously pop on over to the Big Detecting Show YouTube channel and subscribe, please. It'd be very nice of you. I put a post on Facebook yesterday, and we got about 40 new subscribers. We're about 400 people away from 1,000, and obviously we're able to do more things when we reach 1,000 that we can't do currently. So we would appreciate that. We're not in it for the money or anything like that. Probably wouldn't make a penny, because if you look at it, you have to have X amount of million people view one type of video and 10 million people view the shorts, and I've only never made one short, and so that's not going anywhere. No. So it's just to get 1,000 people, so we're able to do a little bit more things with regarding the live videos on that platform. So if you could, that'd be very kind of you. I've just forgot I needed to do something as well, Adrian.
Well, I'm just going to talk, Dave, about Stephen Brain, a Quest for Britannia in the chat. He's hunting for a ring this weekend. His landowner lost 30 years ago and is set a challenge. Don't you love stuff like... I'll tell you what, Stephen, one of my permissions, me and my mate, the farmer lost his dad's. His dad left him a knife and he lost it, and it was something he cherished, and we've never found it. We haven't been back there for a while, but I love it when you get like the farmer says, "Oh, I lost a stainless steel bolt off one of me Ujima flips. If you can find it, let us know, because the only way I can get it is Germany, and it's like £100 and stuff." And we find them because they're big bolts and things for ploughs, but they can make machines not work. And I love that. So whether it's a ring, and we've all had I've had a family friend who lost earrings from a wedding and went and found those within minutes, because we can. So yeah, it's very good to have a quest. And Stephen, yeah, I'd be excited, because you know quest. There is something there.
A quest.
Well, a quest. Or a quest. We will talk about quest, because there's and showing your age, Adrian, mentioning Haynes manual. Yeah, can you imagine one now, Angie? It'd be about that big, and it'd just say, it'd be all error codes.
Or it'll be just bloody what them little pictures called that you scan them and they go to the website.
QR codes. Replace the whole unit. That's what it would be. That's interesting. I might Google that tonight. I've got to get a Haynes manual for my whip, for my detecting whip, actually. I saw it on eBay, actually, 99p. But yeah, definitely. Stephen Blaine, Q30. No, it's not bad. Should we talk about that now? Oh, Gary Cook, thanks to everyone who bought tickets for the one-day event. Yes, which sold out in just over an hour. Very, very... That's the one-day event in February, not the weekender and stuff and all that. That's sold out now. But yeah, that's very, very good. Dave, should we talk metal detectors?
Let's. So you sent me, just to start this off, you sent me a message the other day. Ooh, look at this. You were all excited, weren't you?
Well, I heard it was coming. And I'd heard a few things out there, but it might not interest some people, but it interested me. So why do I always press the wrong buttons? Right. So for those watching, this was announced this week. Quest, who've brought out some very good machines in recent years. The Quest Q30, which I know quite a few people enjoy. Chris Rogers, Addicted to Bleeps, has got one. I've got one. My mate.
No, you haven't.
I gave it to you. So this is a new multi-frequency machine from Quest. Now, Quest is an American company, and like a lot of companies, they manufacture in China, which some people don't like. And this goes on about the X10 Pro and the Q. The X10 Pro is a fantastic machine, but this is using multi-frequency, and this is interesting because since the MindLab patent for multi-frequency sort of disappeared a couple of years ago, it's opened it up to a lot of people like Nocta and XP and the like. So this uses 5 to 60 frequencies. Very compact machine. If you just look at that there, you can see that is going to be, I mean, that is just ridiculous, isn't it? That'll fit in your pocket. But it comes, I think it's the G80 and the G60. So this machine's coming out, I think March or April, but it's going to be very, very interesting. And it, you might not like the big screen, but the screen has got this lovely guard round it, and it's got a carbon fibre shaft. So I'm hopefully going to get one and try it out. So I think that is going to be a very exciting machine with the multi-frequency technology. A lot of people are saying it's using the old Explorer and Safari sort of technology. We don't know, but it might be. So
is that just a singular machine, or are there two coming out from Quest?
There's a Q80 and there's I think it's a Q90.
So what's the Hyper Q?
Hyper Q is the multi-frequency technology. I think it's
right. I'm with you.
An 80 and a 90, or a 70 and an 80, but they're pretty much the same.
Not to be confused with 700 and 900.
No. Well, no, but Quest, they had a few coil issues in the past. I had a Quest Q40, I think, and they had a few issues with the coil. But since they've sort of done the Q30 and stuff, they're really good little machines. So as soon as I get that, we'll talk about it and I'll review it for Treasure Hunting Magazine.
It'd be nice to actually get somebody, a representative of the organisation, because Quest generally aren't that well known as a brand within UK circles. No. Obviously, we know about it. We know it's there, but it's not one of the go-to machines, is it? So it'd be nice to actually speak to somebody, if possible. I mean, otherwise, obviously, we'd speak to Chris Rogers.
Yeah, Chris likes it, like me, likes them. I like the orange and black. That's what I quite like. But it's also got a little shield over the screen. It's got a little. They're so solid. It's got a little shield, so it blocks out the sun. So Atrex could have had that. Would have been nice. But it blocks out the sun, and it also keeps mud off it, which you wouldn't think it's that effective, but it is. So yeah, it'd be very interesting. How much it costs, I don't know. I reckon it's going to be quite a lot. I reckon it's going to probably be about 800, 900 quid.
Well, so, how much was the Q30 and such, like Q60? Hold on, Adrian. Let's ask Phil Wells. He'll know. Phil, how much were they? I like it when we ask Phil. It's like...
Well, he's just going to Google it, isn't he? I'm not Googling it.
It's nice to have Phil do it, because he's he's saying pass. What's that about? Phil, man, you're letting us down.
The Q30, which you can still buy, I think it's £399.
Q30 is £309. This is Stephen Brame at Quest for Britannia, not Philip Wells.
I think with the wireless headphones, the wireless one is that £399, I think. The headphones on the Quest Q30 are fantastic.
He's ordering off eBay.
Oh, Haynes Manual, probably. The Quest Q60, that's quite interesting because that's like £799, I think. And that's got the huge coil. It's called the Turbo Monster or something. But again, that's a great machine. People tend to run it overly sensitive. The sensitivity goes up to like 100, and most people try running at 95, but you need to drop it right down. But yeah, I might actually take the Q60 out soon, because that's like I'm trying to explain it. It's
Q60 is 700.
What, with headphones?
Just says Q60 699, and that's Eagle Eye DJI.
He doesn't know. He's only trying to say that because he probably wants to buy mine.
He just wants to fit in with you.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, look at that! Sorry,
I ordered. What?
And you ordered Derek Sherwin a reliquary box off Monarch Designs. You know, the one off the Detectorists.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
And we'd love to see photographs with his bits and bobs. I don't mean them in it when you take delivery.
Sorry, just flashed through my head then. How to get rid of
Easy, Tiger.
Singers. How to get rid of carol singers, put sausage through your letterbox. I don't know how my brain works, but it does work.
I used to get drunk and show people my elephants. That was a long time ago.
Oh, dear. So Quest will be bringing that out soon. And then with the Legend, we've got the Legend update, the latest update on the Legend, and we've got 2 new coils for the Legend. That machine just keeps... That is like an XR3i totally pimped up at the moment, the Legend. They're proper bashing that up, Nocta. We've got the Mine Labs as well, the Equinoxes. We've got the Manticore, which are slowly dripping in to people. And then we've got...
We've still got the Deus 2 as well hanging about.
That's
still making waves.
We've got the version 6 update for the Deus 1. We're still waiting on one for the Deus 2. A lot of people moaning about having issues with it and it's not quite right. I've been absolutely hammering my Deus 2 the last few months because I've wanted to prove... I know it's worked. I found that gold stayer, didn't I? So, but then it wasn't that deep. But yeah, it's a lot of machines out there. And there's another new machine, which if you've got a teenage son...
Which I think this is a big reveal because I've not actually heard of this machine anywhere as of yet.
I'll go on this one.
And this is you being bloody technical. There's probably visits every website every week just to check.
No, this is the first swing from Nocta Macro. So
no, it's not Nocta Macro anymore. It's just
Nocta. Sorry. This is similar to the... I'll make it a bit bigger. This is similar to the Mini and MIDI Horde, but it's got a little bit more punch. So I've downloaded. So look at the features. This is the first swing. Now this is IP68, so it's totally waterproof. I don't know how deep. You've got... It's similar to the GoFine, but the important thing is it's
waterproof up to... above IP68 in
3 foot. 3 foot. So considering the average person is going to be a teenager, but it's $99 here, so it's going to be £99. And retractable shaft, 1.9 pounds. You know, it's not the sort of thing the average detectorist is going to buy, but for someone coming into the hobby or want to take their son or daughter with them, oh God, they've used Comic Sans font. They can, sorry, I need to get rid of that. You know, you can take, this is probably great for a 9 to 13-year-old. And I think
a 9 to 13-year-old, let's give them a bit of credit, a 9 to 13-year-old who's not done anything metal detecting before. Because we put an article on the ArcMD website last month about the young lad Rio who's had multiple Roman finds with a proper machine. I think it might have been a simplex, but I can't remember. But give a bit of credit. There's a lot of kids out there using proper adults machine who are making waves, but this looks primarily as sort of an entry machine for a nice, cheap and cheerful machine for the kids. Because I still know a lot of kids who are the same age as my son who are now growing up a little bit, and they all heard about... When I done that talk to the school before Christmas, the kids all wanted a metal detector. For that purpose, for them to go home and say, Mum and Dad, I want a metal detector, it's perfect for them, isn't it?
Well, not only that, but just going back to here, it's almost got a little bit of CTX. It's got the coil inside the shaft, which is shaft, got it in there. It's fantastic.
Mate, you've said it about 8 times now.
Yeah. Sorry. Discrimination. And then it's like your average silly things that we all try and do. But this is your spec. So it's 15 hertz. So you'll find hammers with it. 3-tone. It's got a pinpointer. Sensitivity 3 levels, but you never know if not to give it. It might be updatable, so it probably could end up with 12. LED indicator. It's cracking little thing. Auto shut off and alarm. Now, how good is that if you've got kids? Because you know what they're like. They leave their things on, don't they? And it's got an 18 centimetre search coil. It's got blinking 2 years warranty. So for 99 quid, I'm going to enjoy when I get one to take that out. And I might put money on it now. I think I will, that I'll find a hammered with it. And I'll knock all these people who've got like £10,000 machines. But actually, that is a deal. I
nearly said Mel B detects, but she would have been Mel B Spice Girl detects. It's Del B detects, The MIDI Horde and the Mini Horde are brilliant for the younger ones. My son had the MIDI and very good, and the Mini I bought for my daughter, 6-year-old. Dominic Tomschick, his daughter uses the Deus One, and his youngest uses the MIDI Horde. So, and I know Dominic does take his kids out of him. They actually came to Detectable with him. So, she must be finding things with that.
I think the Quest ones, especially now, look at you. Stop, are you kissing the shaft again? I think the Deus One,
You've been waiting so long to say that, haven't you?
I have. I've never said that, kiss the shaft. I think the Deus One is a really good machine for kids because it's quite simple to use, set up and go, and it's light, and you can really have a short shaft. And they're cheap now, or a Deus Lite, which is even better because kids, will just dig and dig, so they'll find dig iron and everything. Get them a Deus Lite, but or the X10.
I like that. Well, why? I've heard the rumor that Nocta are launching a new unbeatable machine with an unbelievable battery. It's called the Nocta 3210.
That's good. That is well done. That is really good. Yeah, it's there's a lot of things coming to the market, and I've got a feeling Nocta have got another machine on the way as well. So I'm for those who are in the chat, what is it, 3-4 people? I'm going to have a little talk with Dilek of Nocta Macro very shortly. So if anyone's got any questions, like sensible questions, that they want to ask her, I've got a few. So I'm doing an article for Treasure Hunting magazine, questions and answers.
Well, I'm sure we can bring Dilek back onto the show. She's not shy in she's always been supportive of the show. She's come on whenever asked, and seeing if she got a new machine coming out, the Ice Wing, and talk about where the legend sits currently, and other things. We'll get her back on in the near future, I'm sure.
Yeah,
because working onto that, we do have guests coming up. We've got some brilliant guests. We're missing one for February the 16th, and we've currently got the entirety thereafter in March. So if anybody does want to come onto the show, please give myself a shout via social media. Mainly because I don't actually get any prompts to tell me I'm getting Outlook emails. Adrian has to text me and say, I've just sent you another email. And I'm like, all right, okay. So send me a Facebook or, through the Big Detecting Show, and we'll sort that. Steve Newman wants to come in the show. I think we'll give it a couple of weeks yet, Steve Newman.
Who?
Little fella, quiet.
Very shy. Yeah.
Talks about birds and nuts and things.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, didn't surprise that to get taken off YouTube. Yeah. But, sorry, Dominic, he's just said he's using the Simplex. Yeah, mustn't forget the Simplex. Fantastic machine. I lent that to someone 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, 2 years ago, and he won't give it back.
Fight him. Bottom my spade. No, you don't bottom my spade.
I can't. He's quite a big man. But
do you know what you should do with him? You should go, Book Wars!
Get in. Forgot about it. Right.
Are you ready?
Let's go. Yeah, go on,
Are you
Dave.
ready?
Let's book the wars.
And welcome to round 2 of Book Wars. Book Wars! Now, for those of you who may have missed last week's show, we decided to start having a wee competition with some of our metal detecting books to start off with. And last week, it was me with 50 Finds of Cheshire by Vanessa Oakton, the former FLO of Cheshire, versus Adrian's Inside the Metal Detector, which is by
George Overton and Cole Morland. And I don't know who it was, but someone in the chat has actually just bought it and said it's a very interesting book so far. I'm not on commission from this, and it's loads of money. It's like $34, and I don't think you can get it for less than that in the UK. But yeah.
So what we're doing, we've got 4 books each. we'll ask somebody in the chat to give us a page number. We'll read a paragraph each, and you decide which book goes through to the next round. So we'll have 4 rounds, and then we'll have a semi-final, and then we'll have a final. And then we'll start again a couple of weeks later with a different type of book. We're going to be looking at authors who've been on the show, potentially archaeology, weird and wonderful. What else, Adrian? What other would we be looking at? Other things.
Yeah, mystical things.
Things.
My book goes...
And then probably have another round of metal detecting to end it off with. And then all of them will go into a final set of rounds. And by Christmas, we will have a Champions League knockout.
We are the champions.
And at the end of the year, we'll be able to crown a book as best book of the year.
Very good. My current book goes from 1 to 105.
1 to 105.
Steve Newman said page 16.
Hold on a minute. 1 to 105. I've chose my book, which goes from... I've got a similar length, Adrian. Oh, my God, this is so sexy.
Hang on. What if it's the same book?
It's not, because I've just seen what yours is.
Oh, I knew Andrew Tyres. Yeah, 69. I'll just check what 69 is.
It's not in that book, Adrian. 69 is not in that book. These are metal detecting related.
Oh, I've got to read my page 69 just because there's a lot of double entendres in it based on what's been said. Right, 104.65.
So what book are you choosing tonight, Adrian?
Am I allowed to show it now?
Yes.
I thought we show it after we've read it.
Okay. Yes, okay, good call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what page are we going for? 69?
If there's another one that says 60... Tony Kaywood, is he in the chat or is he asleep? Or is he sewing buttons? Pick a number, Tony. Has anyone picked the same number? Someone's going to put 69. Right, let's go.
Del B said 8 twice. Steve Newman said 16 twice.
Let's go with Mr. Steve, shall we?
Page 6. Oh, Tony said 77.
All right, Tony. He is awake.
CC says 77. So you read your chapter, and then your first paragraph on page 77, and I will read mine.
Who's going first?
You, it's your week first.
Oh. As her hands rubbed over my body, I felt a tingling in my lower... Oh, sorry. Wrong book. Earlier in the chapter, I suggested that you try to access the target by the sound of its signal. I'm now asking you to try and take it a stage further by assessing how deep the target is. This can turn out to be a time saver in the amount of digging and then searching the soil heaps. To my hearing, I stress this as only you will know about yours, there are differences in the signals given by various targets. I can go on. Iron gives us unique... Yeah.
Book Wars!
It's not exciting, that one. But
are you ready?
Steve Newman shows it. Oh, there is a bit... Sorry, there's a little paragraph here. Can I just read it?
Yeah.
Cowpats. When cowpats are wet, they will give a good signal, but when dry, nothing will be heard. It's the salt and minerals in the dung that causes this. The more signals you know, the easier it gets. What a lovely tip.
That's actually very interesting.
I detect cowpats, and I have had signals off them, but I haven't dug them because they're fresh.
Swords were highly desired objects of male display. Their components and fittings were often very finely decorated in the latest art styles. Variation in the shapes of pommels and guards allows them to be dated quite closely. Individual components in the hilt include the pommel, the upper guard, the lower cross guard, and occasionally additional rings, which would set around the grip. These pieces were cast separately and were assembled in the workshop, the tang passing through them and being carefully flattened over the top of the pommel. Aside from the sword zone fittings, there were many individual wooden, leather, antler, bone, and metal parts to the scabbard and the sword belt. These were probably decorated en suite with the hilt for a pleasing effect. For hilt nomenclature, see British Artifacts, Volume 1.
Can I just quickly comment on the chat? Ange has been 25 years. I have been married. Me too this year, Ange. And I like the way we always put no shit, Adrian. Very good. Right, yours is, David.
British Artifacts by Brett Hammond, Volume 2, Middle Saxon and Viking.
Advanced Detecting by the Norfolk Wolf.
A legend at the Norfolk Wolf. So, ladies and gentlemen, which was the best book? Dave or Adrian?
Me. Mine's quite cheap, actually. What's the price? If I go to a website. Dave, how much is yours? What's yours?
I've got 2 Daves, 3 Daves, 1 Adrian, and 1 Philip.
Mine's £17.50. And what's yours called?
It's called British Artifacts, Volume 2.
And yours is, I don't know, about 30 quid, 27 quid or something like that.
Looking in the back of this, when it was originally from Greenlight Publishing, by the way, it was originally around 20, but obviously prices may change.
I think it might be, 20, 23 pounds.
Is yours Greenlight Publishing as well?
Or Detecting Media. If you go there, detectingmedia.co.uk, you get a free magnifying glass when you on every order.
Let's have a count up, shall we? Oh, what's happening? What's that? Oh, it's gone now. My screen went all weird.
If you're new to detecting, whether I win or not, I highly recommend you buy this book. It will tell you about detecting when it's frosty, when there's a storm, the types of soil. This guy, sadly, has passed away now. He is an absolute legend. I could read you about it, but it's Chris Rogers, Addicted to Bleeps. It's his favourite book. It's my favourite book. It's lots of people's favourite book. And it's really simple and easy. And it's not geeky as well. Hence, there's cowpats in there. It's not like circuit boards and things. Right. Come on, Dave.
Hold on.
Blinking Newman's chosen Dave Sadler. I always recommend people buy that book when they start detecting.
I do myself, to be fair.
But then your book is a very good book as well. I bet it's you.
So, the result is 17-10 to Adrian.
Get in. Beat Sadler. This is like Ant Deck, but better. Get in. Right.
So, advanced detecting goes into the next round.
Good little book.
It is a first-rate book. It's the Bible, really, isn't it, Adrian?
Yeah, it's such a shame he's no longer with us because
he would have made a fascinating guest.
Oh gosh, well, there is. You do find these people are quite shy, but there's still some videos of him on YouTube testing out the Deus One. He wrote a fantastic article on the Deus One for Treasure Hunting magazine many years ago. 12 years ago? But yeah, if you want Dave's book, which is
British Artifacts, Volume 2, Middle Saxon and Viking. Adrian, the imagery in here is just, let me put it on big screen.
Big screen.
Some of the images in here, it's obviously it's up there with, do you know what, these green screens kiddle me off. It's up there with the finds identified for imagery. Look at that. That's Steve Newman's.
It is. That's yeah. It's funny because there's two types of books, isn't there? There's the books telling you how to detect, and then there's the books that show you what identify any finds. And I think a lot of people sometimes get confused because it's always nice to see what you could find, but you need to know how to find it. So those books.
Hey, Adrian, I'm still learning. If you look at my detecting life, I was with my dad when I was 4 years old. All right, I won't remember that. I then picked up a machine in the late 90s shortly. Started back again in about 2002, 2003. So for the past 20 years, I've been detecting. For the past 10, I've been detecting properly. I was out with Shane last week, and I can honestly say I was learning new little ways of doing things, which made it easier for me, and I think more beneficial, the practicing of metal detecting.
Yeah, it's just simple little things like you get a target, walk round it with your coil. Don't just stand there in one position. Walk round it, and oh, that sounds good. And then you walk round it. Oh no, it's iron. You still dig it potentially. I do a lot of the time, but
apparently
you get to know
your cowpat paragraph nailed it for you. By the way,
who said that? Good.
Well,
cowpat. Yeah, it does. I think there's.
Do you know? I'm pretty sure I gave that book away, and I'm going to have to pick a new one up.
I'll get you one. I'll photocopy it. Oh, no, I won't. I'll fax it to you. But they're available from detectingmedia.co.uk and greenlightpublishing.com.
Do you know, Adrian, I've got quite a few well-known books on PDF, but I'd rather not have them on PDF and have them in print. There's nothing. I can't sit there on my phone or on a tablet or on a computer scrolling through stuff. I don't take things in when I'm reading off a computer.
No,
it does me head in. Having something physical in front of me, it's just And somebody said last week it was Tony Kaywood. You have to have over 1,000 books to class as a library. I've got a library.
I haven't got 1,000 books. I'm not allowed. Well, I probably had, but they're all sort of. The housing manager moves them. There's some up the loft, some up the shed. I shouldn't put books in the shed, but they are. But yeah, I think that if you've got a PDF, Control F or Apple F on a Mac, the search bar in Adobe Acrobat searches for words, and a lot of people just sit there scrolling through. So search for ring or fibula or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, the book.
I mean, I've got a book here from Oxbow. Which is going to be one of. I've got one from Archeo Press and one from Oxbow, which are my next two books for Book Wars. But I mean, the other one was Amberley, the 50 Finds of Cheshire. So you can get metal detecting books throughout publishers in the UK. But I think the best go-to books have still got to be Greenlight Publishing / Detecting Media, aren't they?
Yeah, if you're dedicated to the hobby.
Absolutely.
I think there's the Beginner's Guide to Metal Detecting's being currently revamped because that's a bit out of date. It's got sort of like the new pulse induction machines, but that'll be a good book when that comes out because it's a bit like I don't know, your car handbook. When you get your new car, you read it and then you never read it again, but you always go back to it. And they're always good to refer to. And they're books, so they're not a file on your
There's
computer.
a guy from America who I met at Detectable a couple of years ago, and he wrote so many books on metal detecting. And I mean, you're talking 50, 60 plus books at least, called Andy Sabish. Wonderful chap. I'm going to ask Andy to come on the show in the future because obviously he writes the books, and I think his perspective of metal detecting would be quite valuable because he's obviously detected in the UK and America. I think you have a valuable perspective on the hobby.
He's very good at putting his words down on paper. Some people, I've met really good detectorists, YouTubers and stuff, but when it comes to putting it on paper, it's very hard, and it's a bit of a skill. But he puts it down really well, and he's just launched a book on the Nocta Macro Legend, which, considering it's only been out a year? No, how long's the Legend been out? No, less than a year. Oh God, I don't know. Yes, of course it has, because I went out with it in the summer. So it's been just over a year. The Legend's
I
been
love it
out.
when you have an argument with yourself.
I do. Well, I got the Legend really early, and it was when the Deus 2 came out and the Atrex, and it was just like a bun fight. And I left it to the end, actually. And like everyone says, it was not great when I first got it. And then it's just got better and better and better. But Andy's brought out this book, Andy Savage, and it's meant to be. It's like the Deus one. If you've got an XP Deus, right, the original Deus, get his book. It's a little bit dated now, but it's got people from all over the world.
The Deus is how many years old, but it's still
12.
relevant to the machine.
13 this year. Christ, 13 years. Is it 13 this year? Yes, it is still relevant, and there's different programs in there. But people all over the world have different soils, different EMC. And I tell you what, the thing, anyone who's watching tonight, do they go out in the garden with their detector and have a play with programs and send stuff before they go out detecting? Because for years, I go out in my front garden, my back garden. I get a new detector. I'll go out front garden, back garden. My house is built on a World War One training camp, so there's always some bits that I can find there. In the last few months, I have had such bad, now continuous EMC interference. Absolutely ridiculous.
Electromagnetic charge.
From 5G masts.
It's just somebody's asked what EMC was. It's electromagnetic charge.
Yeah, so when you go near electrical overhead lines or phone lines or fences in fields, electric fences, your detector will start going, and you can change the frequency, shift the frequency, or you can clear it. But I have got it so bad outside my house. I don't know. I had a friend come round, Nick, who's got Orcs, and he said, I think there's a problem with my coil. And I turned it on. It was like, and I was like, "Do you like that, Dave?"
Oh,
and I said, "Well, I'll swap it from the X35 coil off my Deus 1. Put it on." I said, "Oh, it's so wrong with the control
was
box."
Was it pretended to be a turkey?
No.
Oh.
And I said, send it off to Regtons because they're the XP specialist. And I said, well, actually, take the coil with you, test it out in the field. He went out in the field with this new coil. It's absolutely fine. It's the coil. But I've got it so bad outside my house. But what worries me is with us in this hobby, we've got the ability to frequency shift and change things on our machines now to get away from that. But 5G is popping up everywhere and getting worse. So, and they always love putting them in fields. Hello, Mr. Farmer. Would you like 10 grand a year for us sticking that lump of metal in your field? Oh, yeah. It could start affecting sites more. And I do wonder, there's a question I've got for Dilek, actually, because Nocta are pretty switched on with things like that, and Mine Lab and all the others. But how have they found the 5G interference? Because it's definitely an issue. Definitely an issue. Sorry, I'll shut up now. Christ.
No, it's interesting, and I mean, there's people in the chat who maybe have similar issues, and they might be able to, explain it via 5G.
Yeah, it's just.
Or if you go out at night like Steve Newman does, they switch 5G off, so you'd be all right.
Yeah, and he doesn't wear any clothes, so.
He does got a large helmet, though, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yes,
Roman helmet. Roman.
Yes, Centurion's helmet. But But yeah, so we've got all these things, and then we've got Wi-Fi and satellites, and I don't know. It's a challenge for metal detectorists because we all hear the noisy Noxes. You get if you've got your Deus One or other machines, the Noxes are quite noisy, polluting the sound around things.
Steve Newman said he's got a massive helmet.
Helmet, is that like a glove? Oh, bless him.
It's like Helmet the Frog.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm interested how things, because 20 years ago you go out in the field and you just had an electric fence and some overhead power lines, but now you can be in the middle of nowhere, which I've been in the middle of nowhere, nothing around, and the blinking detector's gone mental. Not on the ground, it's just in the air, and you just do not know what's being transmitted. It's all invisible. So we'll see.
Derek Sherwin asked about the Ledgering book sounding good. Who's the author? It's Andy Sabish. It's not. Is it not available yet?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, right, okay.
I think Noctra have got it.
I think don't Regden's supply Andy Sabish books. So that might be an idea to look on Regden's.
It might. Sorry,
it's okay. You carry on.
It might have been launched only in America, but we'll see. At the moment, I
got given. I've got it off car boot sale. The Fisher F2
35. Oh,
F2. Well, I'm faffing about the other day, and I thought I'm going to take that out for a little spin because I've not actually used that one personally. And I found out my lug nut was missing. Oh, there it is. Been looking for that. My lug nut was missing. The thing that connects the your coil. So I thought, do you know? And I went on several sites to look for them and couldn't find what I wanted. I thought I had a spare, couldn't find it anywhere. So I went on eBay and I found these. Now they've actually come in the wrong size. But your black plastic with the on. I think I got 12 for £5.
And they're the wrong size.
Yeah, so I've just ordered the next size down. These are M8, so I've ordered M6 bolts, and they're only £4 for 12. So for those of you who do have issues where you've lost your lug nuts, look for M6 bolts, plastic bolts on eBay, and you'll find them. Different sizes, but they do exactly what we need them for, don't they, Wingnut? I mean, Adrian.
Yeah, Wingnut. Do you know what? It's something which I'd say is that and gaffer tape in your detecting bag is very important because I remember a couple of years ago when my mate James's Knox 800 had the coil break, which it did on quite a few, has on quite a few, and it was so funny watching him. He was looking for like bits of string, and I think, what did we use in the end, James? I think we found some like old tape that was on a farm post, and we pulled that off and held it together. And he's detecting, and his coil was just like sort of just swinging like that, but he still detected for a few hours, and then his arm cup broke a week later after he got his coil messed.
Talking of the what machine? Equinox 800s. Shane's has died this week. It's had a code come up on it. It keeps turning itself on. ER61 code. So he's contacted LP and Pete's told him send it straight back and he'll sort it out straight away. So again, big ups to the industry for sorting people out as soon as possible. But I think it suggested on ER codes when you do a search that it was related to the coil itself. So he's gutted because he can't get out this week. He went out last week. Come out with me Friday. He went out with Steve and Rick on Saturday, and he went out with Ben on Sunday. So this week he can't go anywhere because he hasn't got a machine.
Well, can't you lend him the?
I've told him come and get. No, I give him the MIDI Horde. I give him, and he gave to his son for Christmas. So he's got the MIDI Horde.
How old's his son?
Elijah's 5 or 6.
Oh right. Oh okay. Yeah, that's nice.
18.
I thought it was better. Well,
So I've told him I've got the Quest here, I've got the Fisher here, and I've got the Vanquish here. Just come and get it.
the Fisher.
Well, I'll drop them off
Take
for
the
him.
Fisher out. I'll tell you what. Really good machines. The Fishers. Really, really good.
Do you know, I've heard a lot of good things, and I bought it specifically to go and try different machines. So I'm looking forward to having a go. In fact, Adrian, I've got my dad's old C-Scope 600 series as well here, the 1970s machine, and I really need to give that a go. Find a good site that's obviously bringing stuff up, and just see how it goes against modern technology. Desperate to do that.
Yeah. No,
Here's the Badger. Hiya, Badger.
Badger's here.
Badger just opened the door itself and come in.
No. He's tired though, look. Very, very tired. You can lay down.
Charlie Deemer is on his 3rd control box in a year and 6 months. I presume that's the Equinox.
Wow.
Ange says she needs to stop watching the show. She's just spent more money on Greenlight Publishing.
Oh, good on her. Wonder what books she bought, Ange.
What books did you buy, Ange?
I think they've got an offer on at the moment.
And then, Adrian, you can speak to Dan and say, Dan, these books for Ange. Big detective show, mate.
Yeah.
Give him back.
Dan at Greenlight Publishing, yeah. But it's Badger is gorgeous.
Is that a book?
Yeah. No, she's a good dog. I tell you what, when you have children, you wish they'd like metal detecting, but the daughter's sort of interested, but boys come along and stuff. Son is just interested in girls and drinking alcohol and coming in at 5 a.m. and eating my fridge completely. But my dog,
I'm getting sent videos that I've sent you for you to send to him. He likes that as well.
Yes, he does. And but my dog doesn't answer. Just take her detecting. She's with me all day, and it's lovely. I couldn't wish for more. It's nice having a dog with you detecting.
Well, sadly, my dog Nanny passed away 2 years ago, and now we've got Midnight, who's about that big, and I don't feel a love with Midnight, sadly. My wife and her get on like house on fire, but I just don't feel a love. So when we get our next dog, I'm going to train it to come out with me properly.
Well,
in van life.
Van life. Yeah, you got your van. Got your van that's nearly finished detecting.
Nearly finished. I need 2 strips of wood and wire some additional lights in. Everything's done. Cleaned it out. Just need to put 2 bits of wood up. In fact, Adrian, what have we got here? What else have I bought?
Wood.
No. I bought some brackets to go on the wall. And they're going to have some nice army green Velcro straps attached to carry detectors.
You've got a few, haven't you?
I've got a new kettle coming because I didn't realise, because I'm stupid, I didn't realise that having a 1500 watt inverter wouldn't actually work with a normal kettle or a normal heater. So I've bought low wattage ones which work beautifully. So I've got all the gadgets, all the gizmos, and I'm ready to go.
Steve Newman's got a set of 12-volt lights for you. Thank you, Steve.
Charlie Deemer says, yes, it's the Equinox 800, but use that machine in the sea only.
Ah, yes.
Why?
Now,
if you don't mind me asking, Charlie, do you only lose it in the sea?
Because he detects.
Yeah, but why doesn't he use it on land?
Well, when you put a detector in the sea, you do naturally force equals mass over area and all that malarkey. You do put a lot of pressure on the shaft and the coil, and also the ingress of water because it's pushing in. So, but that's quite a lot. Be interesting. Nikki Roberts, hi Nikki. I was about to buy detectable tickets. Yes, you can't take dogs.
Ange has bought Advanced Detecting book by what was his name? Roving Wolf? Night Wolf?
The Norfolk Wolf. Yeah.
Norfolk Wolf.
Yeah. It's Really great book. It's a bit dated on pictures and stuff, but the words are good. It's got
but Adrian, I've got a drawer here with 100 search and treasure hunting magazines from the 1980s. And if you read an article out of that, it still warrants today's information. All right, you're talking about old machines, but do you know what? I might throw in an old copy of Treasure Hunting magazine into Book War. In fact, next round we'll have magazine wars. Your old versus your new versus my old.
Look, Man in the Snow, new one out. And
what do you think of that one, Adrian?
What, the Man in the Snow?
No, magazine wars next round.
Well, it's not hard, is it?
No, not next round. Next week, you pick 4 modern magazines. I'll pick 4 old magazines. We'll read a page article out, and old v new.
Well, it'd have to be the search or treasure hunting, wouldn't it?
That's all I've got. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, it'd be quite interesting. Yeah, that'd be quite nice. Oh, Pomsey's in the chat. Pomsey, sorry.
Shane's here somewhere as well. Shane must be in from karate. Pomsey. Still got it. Still got it. We like Pomsey. And he writes good articles about fantastic finds as well.
Yeah, he does. But I had his blinking 3D printed coaster here the other day. I don't know where that's gone. Found it in the lounge. I think my daughter used it. But yes. Yeah, we'll do magazine wars. Sorry, you know where I burnt myself? It's got all funny with that.
What, like ha funny?
Like
white.
Swollen. What is it?
Gareth Howard says, "Don't you have any razzle?"
No,
that was the name of the dog in Johnny Briggs.
Escort and Fiesta. Razzle. Razzle was the equivalent of your cheap cigarettes of today, wasn't it? But it was like the Royals or
lots of hair. Lots of hair.
Yeah. Club. Club International. When I was 17, and I left school, didn't know what I was 16, didn't know what I wanted to do, and I got a job in a warehouse doing magazine and newspaper distribution. So the way it'd work, Laurie would deliver like a load of magazines or newspapers, and we used to split them up for all the news agents in the area. So I was quite fortunate to see every single magazine that was circulated in the UK. So everything, can you believe this? It's probably still going. Shoe and Leather Weekly, right? LCN, Laundry Cleaning News, and then you had Razzle and all that lot, and Tales of the Unexplained, Face to Face. That was an interesting one. Part Work, that was all about. But I was very fortunate, and I saw all of the adult magazines, both sexes, and it was quite interesting. And I grew up. I know them all. Quiz me on a magazine.
Two little magazine stories. My dad worked at a place called Consolidated Bathurst in Ellesmere Port. So locally, all they had big wagons with cages on, and basically you'd go and get all the newspapers and that, and you'd recycle. So all newspapers and magazines locally from news agents, everything went to Consolidated Bathurst, and then it was pulped up and remade into paper. Dad used to go on nights, and the amount of comics he'd bring over for me, I had absolutely everything under the sun, but he didn't bring me any naughty ones. The other little story, it's not a naughty one again, sadly. I knew a guy, very prominent UFO researcher and author in the UK called Tim Matthews. Someone wrote something somewhere. Gareth Howard, obviously.
Yes.
So he's one of the most prominent authors. He sold thousands of books. Do you know what he ended up doing? Editor at Line Dancing magazine.
Was that in 87? Because it really got good in there.
No, it was about 97. Gareth Howard, can I read it out? I've got an old Fiesta in my mum's loft somewhere. It was my backup plan in case it all went with his partner. Gareth, go in your mum's loft, photos, or it didn't happen. I don't mean saucy photos, just want to see that there is one exists.
Why did it used to be? Well,
Actually, Gareth, did it go tits up with your partner?
No, because it's still in his mum and dad's loft. But my mum and dad.
But you might. This conversation just might have reminded him.
Well, my mum and dad lived next door to a very sensible couple, like real, like church-going, sensible couple. They moved, and new neighbours moved in, and the new neighbours are actually James, who's in the chat's mum and dad, and he probably doesn't know this. Well, he wouldn't because he wasn't born. When his mum and dad moved into the house, they went up into the loft, and there was a massive stash of mags, absolutely huge. And he had a train set up there. He was doing a lot of shunting.
My mate Boffo, he's still renowned. When we were young, we didn't have PlayStations. That we actually went out, didn't we? And we were all by us, Ellesmere Port. We were all down the lanes, cycling and what have you. Boffo never once went out and didn't come home with a stash of magazines that somebody had hurled out the car window. And they were all old stuff. Old stuff. Adrian, we've got ladies in the chat. Should we be doing this? Yes.
Well, at Disabled Digger, as a youngster, we used to go mag detecting in the woods. Mag detecting. It's funny. I'm a bit concerned, James. Oh, the vicar. Yes. Oh, he was a vicar. Yeah, people did dump them. I once caught. Was James with? No, you weren't with me. Were you? No. I once caught our local ice cream man dumping a bag of them in the woods near me. I caught him. I said, "What are they?" And he went, "Nothing." And he just went off. And me and my mates went up. Who was it? My mate Lawrence. And we opened it up. We went, and yeah. But anyway, this is not
Gareth Howard with an update. No, it's still there, and I'm still in the family home. But I sleep well at night, knowing I'll always be okay, whatever the outcome. We like Gareth. He's got a proper sense of humour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, there was no need for adult mags. We had K's catalogue. We always end up lowering it.
They didn't Photoshop them then.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. James, those were my brothers, I think, in that alley. But yeah, there was. And they're always ripped, weren't they? And some of them were partially burnt. I know.
And some of them, pages, couldn't open properly.
No. Anyway.
Shall we get back to...
Oh, how can we get on?
Shall we get back to Mag Detect, the big Mag Detecting show? I love it when you're lost for words.
I'm just, it's all flashbacks, isn't it? Anyway, we're talking about Quest tonight and their new machine. We're talking about the new machine from Nocta, which you said was the eye detect, but it's actually called the first swing. So there might be a second swing and a third swing and a fourth swing,
and an eye detect. I might copyright that.
But the Quest machine will be very interesting soon. Who knows?
And we also had Book Wars.
And I won.
1-1.
What was I talking about?
Pomsey says, machine. When he was in the army, I got in trouble in the Middle East for trading pages with the Arabs.
Yeah, they pay a lot of money for stuff like that. Yeah, pages, not magazines. Pages. Yeah, it's all different now, isn't it, with the internet and stuff? I sound old, don't I? Well, I'm old. But, so we've got Reuters, who's adopted multi-frequency. We've obviously, MindLab have been the leaders in it. We've got I'm just trying to think who we've got. C-Scope, I don't know what's going on there.
What we were still talking about, Razzle? Sorry.
No. Everyone seems to be adopting it. So, have I missed anyone? With Fisher and White's, Garrett got their sort of. I think Garrett could be coming out with something soon this year. I've got a feeling Garrett could be coming out with a modern AT Pro, which could be like their. I've got the name of it. Not Atrex. Someone tell me.
Have you got a stutter?
Apex. No, I get confused with Atrex. Apex. Yeah.
Garrett need a waterproof Apex, says Philip Wills.
Which I think will be a Pro. I think they'll bring out an Apex that's waterproof, Pro, multi-frequency, everything, singing, dancing. Then who else have we got? I think everyone's on the bandwagon now.
Stephen Bramos, will Chris Rogers be on the show again reviewing the new Quest machines? Yes, we will. He has promised he will come back on. He's had life as well, so he's not been able to join us. And he's been also the new Joan Allen radio show. He's been hosting that with Otis Arms.
Yeah, so if you go to Spotify or iTunes or whatever, type
any
in,
of your podcast providers,
Joan Allen. It's a nice podcast to listen to when driving to work. Chris is as nutty as ever, and Otis.
Steve Newman says Garrett are bringing out a new golf club.
He's a mind lad, man, and he's
the Garrett 7-iron.
But me and Chris spoke a lot. We have done. I haven't spoken to him for months actually, but we spoke a lot when the C-Scope Evo came out, and he had one and I had one, and then when the Q30 came out and the Legend, and we chatted, and he's a Quest lover as well, like a lot of people.
Del B says, who remembers the Viz Mag? Well, if anybody has the Readily app, Viz, you can't see it. Viz is on the Readily app, free of charge, as is the Searcher magazine. And for those like me there's History magazine, there's BBC History magazine, as well as all the newspapers. And what else have I got stored? Fortean Times as well, which I've read for many years. Oh, and Ancient Origins magazines, which the latest copies are about heroes. Then there's Wonders of Egypt, Mesopotamia, Pirates. So if anybody has the Readily app, you'll be able to find all them things for free on there.
I've got a story to tell you about this. Could I tell it? Yeah, I suppose I can. No, I can't. Yes, I can. My background, I used to work in print, and before we had flatbed scanners like you all have, or used to have at home, to scan things, we used to scan things on big machines, and I used to scan the artworks for Viz magazine, and I shouldn't say this. God, no, I won't get in trouble, will I? They'd laugh. I wrote my girlfriend's initials with a pen, a rotaring pen. Those who know, it's a very fine pen. It's like a pin. And I wrote my girlfriend's name, and I also drew, I think it's probably something rude underneath, but it was so small, it was like that big. But when the magazine was printed in the fat slags, if you looked at it under a magnifying glass, you could see my thing. Not that exciting, really, but I quite liked it. But I've always read the Viz. But I do.
You first.
I do have trouble reading it now on public transport because people think you're reading Whizzer or Chips or Beano and you've got problems and you sit there laughing like loud. So, desperate Dan, he's just eating a big pie.
My brother's neighbours were trying to sell their house, and for some reason he couldn't sell it. Possibly because the garage door had a massive, brilliant painting of the fat slags on it.
What, on the outside?
Yes.
Why?
Do you know what one of my favourite characters was in the Viz? Black Bin Bag.
Is that Black Sheep?
No, Black Bin Bag. It was like a bin bag being a border collie.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was called Black. Oh, yes, it was. Yes. Yeah, it was. He thought. Do you know who my favourite one was? He lied a lot. Roger.
Oh,
no, not Roger Melly.
Roger Melly, man on the telly.
He wore a 1970s checkered coat, fleece coat. A lot of people.
8 Ace. How good was 8 Ace?
What's the?
He was the alcoholic who just he'd find 7p and buy 8 Ace and get leathered. Sexist Sid.
I'm trying to remember the one I liked. He lied about everything. He just went round lying to everyone. I'm trying to remember what it was. But
do you remember the other? Oh, what was the other one?
There was another Viz, not Viz. There was another magazine similar.
There was,
but it disappeared. I think it was a bit wrong. But wouldn't it be good if someone did a comedy detective magazine? That'd be quite funny. You could have like Steve Newman naked on the front cover, and then you could have like, yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Big Vern was good.
Finbar Saunders. Fnar.
Yes. Fnar.
He is Viz equivalent to me and you.
Aldridge Pryor, the liar, I think it was. Or Sid, it was Aldridge Pryor, yeah, the liar. He just went around lying everywhere he went. Yeah. Anyway.
Got one of them in work. In fact, from now on, I'm actually going to start calling him Aldridge Pryor.
I think it was Aldridge.
Big Vern.
No, it wasn't Aldridge Pryor. It wasn't. Yes, it was Aldridge Pryor, the liar. Sorry, and he just went round lying to people, and he looked an absolute idiot. But yeah,
I've got to say, I did like Roger Melly's Profanosauruses. They were fantastic.
I've got one here, and I can't repeat anything, but my daughter got hold of it when she was about 11, thinking it was an actual dictionary, and started going through it. And yeah,
I've got somewhere in my library, I've actually got the Dog's Bollocks. I think it was one of the first compilations, annuals. Yeah, anyway, Adrian, we've spoke about the quest. We spoke about Book Wars. We spoke about the new Nocta. We've spoke about me finding treasure. Oh, one more thing for those of you who don't, those of you who watch us on the Peaky Finders channel, please check out the latest videos of the Peaky Finders Luke's channel. Their new sites that they're putting digs on, absolutely phenomenal finds coming off there. I think the one he done at the weekend, it was people were still on there as it was dark because there was still things coming off. I saw a beautiful seal, absolutely stunning seal. So get over to watch them videos. And don't forget, Staffordshire Searcher, pop onto there, give him a subscribe because he's lovely. And you'll see us 10 feet apart finding half a coin, which was the same coin. And also, if you're really that interested, you can actually see better pictures of my little... Lost it! There it is. My little treasure find.
Which is very nice. We should put that on the website, actually. Dave and Adrian's. No, I'll win. I was going to say we could have a find off.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
Dave's MooTube versus Adrian's Stater.
Yeah. No.
Some of your ideas, Adrian.
Yeah.
I tell you what we should do. When we're next at a rally together, we should have, like Fodder and Mickey Richardson, a Dave versus Adrian detect-off. First morning doing it themselves, second part of the day, swap machines.
I've got a good call for that because I've got some very old machines, and we could retro dig.
Retro. Well, we've been on about retro dig for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we have actually. Actually, I talked to Chris Rogers about that. But yeah, because I still believe I could find good stuff with a 20-year-old detector.
Yeah, in your area, it could. I'd still find MooTubes.
Yeah, I haven't found a MooTube for probably
I would love to know. You're dead lucky that you've got your dad's collection of finds. I would love to know what my dad found. And I can't ask anybody. I don't think your brothers would know. And my uncle, my uncle, he might know. One of my uncles is still alive.
I've got a problem though with my dad's finds, which I was looking at the other day when I was going through my coins. I'm not sure because he was a
numismatist.
Numismatist. So he used to buy coins. So if he saw a nice silver denarii, he'd buy it. So I'm not quite sure what he actually found and what he bought. Along with other things. So, yeah, it's a bit of an awkward one, really. But they're there. I've got them. And one day they'll be presented very nicely.
Do well. Right. Thank you, everybody, as ever, for joining us on the Big Detecting Show. We will be back next week with our guest, hopefully, who will be able to join us, Jason Stevens of Metal Detecting Passport. We will also have... Badger in the background, no doubt. And we will have Book Wars Round 3. So,
Yes.
again, please, if you wouldn't mind, could you subscribe to the Big Detecting Show YouTube channel? View the video that I mentioned of Shane's on the Staffordshire Searcher, and have a look at the Peaky Finder's latest videos as well. And don't forget, if you want any books, in fact, Adrian, just to remind people, we'll play out with Detecting Media because they're lovely people. So, Detecting Media or Greenlight Publishing for any of the books we've mentioned tonight. That all, my friend?
Yes, thank you, David. Thank you for people watching, and lovely spending the evening with you again, mate. Been like
As
in
ever,
the
my
pub.
friend. It is like in a pub because you got a lovely fire behind you, so I feel it's like,
Well,
we're
it's
sat by the
going
fire
out.
in the pub.
I think it's going out. But
Well, at least you're not jumping in the pool.
No, which is our biggest fuse to this day. Someone told me the other day. But that's because.
Good night, my friend.
Yeah. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh,
Thank you.
no, wrong button. It's that one, isn't it?